So we want to thank them, and I want to thank you for being here, because now you have taken a wonderful step in changing your life. And this is going to be a very interesting lecture. It's going to be very fast because we have lots of information to cover. So I will try to explain as much as possible, but I really want you guys to get the basic information down, because the basic ideas, because each thing that I'm going to talk about tonight, each idea can be a lecture in and of itself. So how many people are feeling great today? Oh, well, stand up, get your circulation going, and because circulate, it helps. But we should be feeling great today, right? Right? Aren't we entitled to do that, to feel great? So after tonight, what you learn tonight, you will start having the first step in feeling great, and the first ideas. You might not be able to do it all tonight, but you'll at least, it will open your eyes and give you ideas to start with your own life. So let's get going. As many of you know, we have a mission statement, and our mission statement is to educate and empower people to live the best life that they can live. This is our medical staff at our office. We have an integrative medical clinic in Irvine, and we moved in that new facility about a year and a half ago. And we have a wonderful array of services. You can go to our website. But all of the doctors there have an integrative approach. We all have weekly meetings to discuss cases and really properly take care of the patient the best way possible, because we all may not know when we get a difficult patient, we may all need to share ideas. So this is just a little bit of our office. So why are we tired? How many patients do you think that I see every day? What percent of the patients that I see every day complain about fatigue? What percentage do you think? 90 up here? 80? 50? 50 is the accurate statistic that actually is written about. But probably, in my experience, it's probably about somewhere between 80 and 90%. But I tend to see very complicated, complex cases. And when I sit down with any patient, with almost any disease, actually, because a cardinal symptom of almost any disease is fatigue. And so I tell them there's some categories of why you do not have wonderful, boundless energy. And the first one is if you don't sleep. So sleep problems, hormone problems, infections, nutritional deficiencies, toxins, stress, depression, we're overweight, insulin resistance, prediabetes and diabetes, acidosis, which I've talked about before, and free radicals. So Mark Twain once asked, what is a man without energy? What are you without energy? Energy drives life. Are you efficient? Do you accomplish everything that needs to get done? Are you fully present when your family and friends need you? Are you fully present to take care of your own needs? Like I said, energy drives life. So 20% of Americans claim to have fatigue intense enough to interfere with their normal lives. And about 20% of fatal road accidents involve driver fatigue. And as we said, 50% of the adults who actually seek medical treatment are complaining of feeling tired and fatigued and run down and are not functional. So there's multiple, we can lump sleep disorders altogether, but there's many different kinds of sleep disorders. Some people have trouble falling asleep. Some people have trouble staying asleep. Some people snore and they don't get enough oxygen. Some people have obstructive sleep apnea, also not getting enough oxygen. So when they wake up, they feel like they haven't slept at all. Restless leg syndrome. If your legs are restless all night, how can you possibly sleep? If you have pain you can't possibly sleep. So there's all different kinds of sleep dysfunction. Hormone imbalances. If your hormones aren't balanced, whether it's your thyroid, whether it's your pancreas that controls your blood sugar, or the adrenal glands, which are the little glands that sit on top of your kidneys like little hat that make over 100 hormones, and ovaries in women that make estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, and we have in men the testosterone. So all these, there's hundreds of hormones that need to be balanced, and they're very easily interfered with on a daily basis. So this is the concert of hormones all working together. As you notice from this chart, and I love this chart because these organs don't work by themselves. They all work together back and forth. So if one organ, if the thyroid is not balanced, it's going to make the ovaries and the adrenals imbalanced. So all of these hormones work synergistically together. Infections. What kind of infections? Well, we have viruses, we have fungi, we have bacteria, and we have parasites. And all of us here in this room have viruses in them. It's inescapable. A great book, if you're interested in reading about this, is called The Plague by Paul Ewald, E-W-A-L-D. Phenomenal book about viruses and other chronic infections. Bacteria, we have good bacteria, but we have pathogenic bacteria, bacteria that's disease-causing. We have fungi, we have candida, we all have mold in our houses, and so therefore we have mold in our body. So if we have infections, chronic infections, we don't feel good. Now we kind of can live a little bit and we can function pretty well, but eventually these infections become overwhelming and you don't feel good. If anyone has had an infection before, they know they don't feel good. They just want to crawl in bed and go to sleep. So here's just some pictures of examples of different kind of infectious organisms. And I like this picture because it really elucidates and brings it to life that these organisms are real. And you can't see them, but these are microscopic pictures of these organisms that are living in your body. Viruses. There's about 2,000 viruses that can inhabit your body. And if I were to draw anybody's blood here, we would find all kinds of viruses. Epstein-Barr. A lot of people have heard of Epstein-Barr. You've heard of cytomegaloviruses. You've heard the herpes virus. You've heard of hepatitis virus. You've heard of the genital wart virus. There's hundreds and hundreds of them. We all have them. The bad thing about viruses is once you have them, they don't go away. Viruses are either asleep or awake. You want your viruses asleep. I always tell people it's like you have puppies. When you have puppies and they're in a whelping box, and they're brand new delivered, and they're just nicely sleeping there, and everything's wonderful, and then those babies grow, and then they crawl out everywhere. So you don't want your puppies crawling out everywhere. You want your viruses asleep in the cell. Bacteria, again, bacteria. I've done many stool cultures and found unwanted, unfavorable bacteria in our body. Yes, there's good bacteria, but we want the bad bacteria. We don't want the bad bacteria in our body because, again, they drain the body of energy. Candida is a fungus. Candida is normally present in our body, and when it gets out of control, it's called dysbiosis. And so the symptoms of a chronic candida infection, which, again, many of us have, is you don't feel good, you get foggy thinking, you get bloated, you get rashes, you get toenail infections, you get unexplained skin blotching, many different kinds of symptoms. Sinus is huge. I'd say 96, 97% of sinus infections are a fungus. And they're very difficult to treat. But they're very unfavorable organisms in our body. Toxins.